Hello and welcome to Food for Thought. This is a soap opera wrap-up. On this episode, we're going to talk about what happened this past week on the soaps. We're going to start with Young and the Restless. Okay, so it ended up that Dylan did in fact cheat on Sharon with that, female gangster, the assistant of the head of the cartel drug syndicate in Florida, with the chick named Alex, the raven-haired, blue-eyed, I don't know. If we want to call her a beauty, we can call her a beauty. I thought she was kind of trampy, but whatever. As the show or the week wrapped up, they led us to believe that Dylan's life is in jeopardy. He may very well be getting driven to his execution. What's really sad is that if that's what happens, they are going to lead Sharon to believe, or she's going to believe, that she is probably the reason why his cover was blown and why he got assassinated. Between you and I, we don't know that unless there's a body, and even if there is a body, on soaps it doesn't matter. But I think that they're going to leave it open. I think that we're not going to know what happened to Dylan. We're not going to see him disappear. He's just going to go, and I think that it's going to be left open-ended for Steve Burton to return back to the soap at some point. I think he wanted some time off, so he did not renew his contract. But it doesn't mean that we'll never see him again, or that it won't be or that the role won't be recast by somebody else. Anyhow, we did see that Devon has said goodbye to Hillary. He found out from Mariah that what Hillary did and what happened the night of the big New Year's Eve gala. That Hillary basically, because what was on the teleprompter, she admitted to tripping Mariah during that episode with Chelsea's line, Chelsea 2.0. So he now remembers, because Mariah thought that he knew, and she just kind of was thanking him for being so understanding, and spilled the beans without knowing she spilled the beans. And he has now told Hillary to go to hell. He told her to go to hell. Those were his words. Pack up her bags and get out.
And what kind of beans were those?
What kind of what?
Beans. You said she spilled the beans.
Oh, they were Colombian coffee beans.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, Nick and Chelsea are working their way back to each other as the attraction seems to be stronger than they can hold off. As we saw on New Year's Eve, there was a kiss and there was some heavy petting. They almost had sex on the couch with the kids upstairs. They stopped each other. Then they vowed to stay away from each other. They did stay away from each other for a good week. But now they're coming together again. And it looks like this is going to be too much for them to withstand.
Wouldn't that mean it would be a bad week and not for a good week? They stayed away for a good week.
Yeah, well, it might have been. It's probably a bad week for both of them. Phyllis tried to steal Robbie, and she tried to steal him in a almost topless dress. If that dress was if the top of the dress was any more open, we would have had full nipple exposure. It was kind of, and then there would have been Nipplegate, of course. It was kind of like, yeah, she was ultimately, and Robbie we're to believe, so innocent that he doesn't know anything about women, and he certainly can't hold his booze, which we saw with his luncheon with Phyllis, and then of course, he had a dinner with Jack and Ashley where they plied him with more booze and then presented a contract for he to be contracted to work for Jabot, which in the contract I'm sure it will say that he can't work for anybody else. But what we don't know is whether or not he signed that contract. I didn't see him sign the contract. Could have missed it, and if I did, go ahead. Soap viewers, I know you like to set me straight, so go ahead and let me know if you saw him sign the contract. We know he was presented with one. So Victor continues to be a nice guy. Now it's starting to just get downright weird. I don't think anybody's used to Victor being nice for like a whole month, and we're hitting like a month of him being nice, and it's kind of spooky. It really is. Maybe somebody's stolen the real Victor, and this is like a different Victor. Maybe this is, like they swapped out the bad Victor for a nice guy. I mean, maybe that happened. So where Jack, the nice guy, was kidnapped and Victor put in that mean, evil Marco to take his place. Maybe Jack had the nasty Victor kidnapped and put a nice Victor lookalike in his place. Wouldn't that be funny? Okay, so let's move on to the Bold and Beautiful. As I said to everybody last week, Ridge and Quinn have a sexual pull. There was a kiss, in San Francisco. I guess they left their hearts in San Francisco. And they are vowing to stay away from each other. Ridge is going to keep this secret. He went back to LA and he told his whole family that he was wrong about Quinn and that he's basically going to give her a chance, to everybody's befuddlement. Everybody was like, what the heck? And now it looks like, what's going to happen is they are each other's forbidden fruit. They are not going to be able to stay away from each other. So we saw Brooke go off, and she went to go to Italy with Hope, and I'm hoping, get it? Hoping. I'm hoping that she does bring Hope back to rip Steffi's world apart. Is anybody else sick of that character, Steffi? Because I am. I'm sick of her having, these two men running after her who happen to be brothers, and, her, flip-flopping between the two of them. If she's really done with Wyatt, she really needs to put her foot down and let him know that. So I kind of agree with Liam about that. But, Wyatt was supposed to tell her basically goodbye, and on Thursday, Friday, whatever was the last day, we saw the soap because, of course, there was the inauguration, which kind of cut a lot of our soap action last week. As far as we know, he was supposed to be telling her goodbye. That's what he told his new stepfather. But it didn't look like that's what he was doing. So we don't know what's going to happen come Monday. Let's talk about Days of Our Lives. Let's move on to Days of Our Lives. Okay, how many people were cracking up when Eric was stitching up Hope? When he was physically threaded a needle and was supposed to be stitching up her side. How many people were cracking up? I know I was. I was rolling over on my couch when he was supposedly sewing her up. This guy who was a priest, and then tries to say that his experience in Honduras led him to learn how to sew people up. Okay, whatever, Eric. That was ridiculous. And what was up with his haircut? That was the most hideous male haircut I've ever seen. And we're talking about a gorgeous actor, and they really are butchering his look, and I'm not really sure why. Okay, so we know Claire is extremely jealous of Sierra. So Claire is Sierra's niece. They're the same age, but they are aunt and niece. And Claire is extremely jealous of Sierra, and and we kind of already know why, because of Theo. But it seems to go deeper than that. And I have to wonder if they're going to go in deeper than that. I also want to ask this question to Days of Our Lives viewers. Now, we know Adrienne has breast cancer, and we know she's going through chemo right now, and she's sick, and she's tired, and she's fighting for her life. Why is she staying in a hotel? Why? Why is somebody who has all of this money, who now, bought a newspaper, why is she living in a hotel? Why does this woman not have a home? There's a big question mark. I would love people to, underneath this video, there's a place where you can comment. I'd really like to know why you think Adrienne doesn't have a home, why she's living in a hotel. I know that she was, all of this happened at the time that she was supposed to be marrying Lucas, but the point is, somebody should have gotten this woman a home. She should have a house to live in. Okay, so the adventures continued in Peru, but they still didn't find Stefano. Now we know Steve got shot in the arm, and there was a lot of levity and fun in Peru. And when I say levity and fun, I mean the writers were really superb at writing some funny lines. We had right after Steve was shot, we had people looking to just get drunk in the hotel room and ask for ridiculous things like cashews. When Steve has got to get his arm taken care of. That was really funny. Meanwhile, back in Salem, we have a turf war between the three families. We used to have two main families in Salem. We used to have the Demiras and the Kiriakis, and now we've got Eduardo's family is trying to get some major control in Salem. And so now we've got three families fighting, and they're fighting over, I don't know, a flash drive, some kind of electronic device. And both Abigail and Gabby heard them fighting, know that this turf war is brewing, and both these women have now decided to come together to steal this device, because they think stealing the device, if they remove what these people are fighting over, that it will stop the fight, when in fact it's not going to stop anything. It's just going to make things worse. So we don't know how much blood will be shed when that happens. Also, we have to talk a minute about Chloe and the fact that Chloe is continuing to keep Holly away from... oh my God, her name just went right out of my head. And I don't have it written down here. Cut or whatever. You're going to have to cut this. Nicole. Okay. So, 1...
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so let's talk about how Chloe is continuing to keep Holly from Nicole. Who does this? Who has a baby for somebody else, doesn't tell them the whole time that they're pregnant, which may have been a good idea since Nicole has lost so many babies, but she's given birth. Nicole helped to give birth. The baby is healthy. The baby is adorable. Why not tell the woman, this is your baby and your baby with Daniel, the love of your life? No, instead she's saying, if you're going to marry Deimos, we can't be friends anymore, and you can't ever see, us again, me or Holly, or Parker for that matter, when Nicole is a very big part of Parker's life, and it's downright evil at this point. So I was kind of happy to see Brady go to, run up and basically talk to or confront Chloe about what she's doing to Nicole, because it's just plain evil. All right, so let's move on to General Hospital. And the first thing I'm going to say is, okay, who is the hunchback? He's got we know that it's the same actor playing Valentin. I'm not really sure the right way. They call him Valentine, but it's not really spelled Valentine. It's spelled Valentin. And I'd rather just call him Val. So from this point forward, we're just going to call him Val. Anyhow, so Anna has these flashbacks, and she finally realizes how she knows him, or was it his father? And that's my big question. Because if we look at the timeline here, the actress that plays Anna is in real life 57, 58 years old. We know she has a daughter named Robin, and Robin is in her 30s. So, Valentine does not look, Val does not look like he could possibly be in his 50s or near 60. But definitely we're supposed to believe that she met this man with the hunchback, with the deformed hand, with the deformed face, almost like the Elephant Man thing going on. We're supposed to believe that she met him way back when. And are we supposed to believe that that's the handsome man that we're seeing today on General Hospital? Well, not so much. Writers, if this is where you're going, I would rather, and this is going to sound gross to so many people, but I would rather have her have felt sorry for this creature underground and spent a compassionate night with him. I know that sounds gross. And that the result of that compassionate night was Valentine or Val, and that he's actually her son, Robin's cousin, and then he would be Emma's uncle. And I know that sounds gross to people, but I would rather that be than him having had 16, 20 surgeries to make him normal. We did see him stutter. And by the way, kudos to the actor, because he was fabulous last week. And to have to play this role. Now, whether he be the son of this creature, or that he's actually this deformed human being who has had all of these surgeries and is now like the handsome prince, as if he's been like Beauty and the Beast, as if he's been kissed and turned into a handsome prince. So who knows where they're going with this. It's a bit of a bizarre storyline, but it was an interesting twist, that's for sure. Because they also said at some point that his school records had been destroyed in a fire. But did that mean because his school records reflected the fact that he had a hunchback and he was deformed, or that he was the son of somebody who, with a hunchback and was deformed? So, anyhow, we finally got to see Maxie and Nathan get married. Yay, they're finally married. We had a new guy come in temporarily and play Spinelli, and he did a pretty good job. Everybody knows him from Days of Our Lives as Crazy Nick. But he did a pretty good job filling in for Spinelli. And then we, of course, got to see Georgie. We got to see Georgie as now a 5-year-old. So they've sped her up. Time has flown for little Georgie. And actually, they brought in an adorable little actress to play her daughter, who was able to do lines and set her lines, because the real life child who was playing Georgie, the real life child of the actress who plays Maxie, is not old enough to do lines yet. So to perform lines or play lines, that doesn't sound right, saying do lines. But anyhow, finally, or not finally, what I thought was wrong, and I don't know how the other viewers feel about this, but Lulu followed Charlotte after Charlotte heard and witnessed the fight between her father and the man she briefly thought was her father out on the terrace. She ran to hide for cover in a hotel utility closet, and Lulu ran after her. And this little girl, opens up her heart and says to Lulu, "I miss my mom, I miss my mother, or my mommy." And Lulu's like, "Well, you don't have to miss your mommy because I'm your mommy." Well, this kid has just had one crazy episode, one crazy thing after another happened to her. There's no way this little girl is going to be able to grow up being a normal human being, because so many, horrible things have happened to her in her little life. And how many people believe that it was wrong for Lulu to just come out and tell her, "I'm your mother"? I believe it was wrong. I think that it should have been handled in a better way. And definitely there should have been some mental health professionals involved with this child transitioning or learning that this woman is her mother. The mother, that the person she thought was her mother, she just found out was dead. Nina is her new stepmother, so she was just adjusting to that. And, then to be told, "Well, no, I'm your mother." Like, basically, you haven't lost anything because I'm your mother. And that's really not how a little girl's brain can even adjust or comprehend those kind of things. And I think we're going to see a freak out from that little girl this week. Let's talk for a minute about Elizabeth and Franco. Franco is missing. Elizabeth's aware he's missing. And she's basically put together that Alexis is the guy that killed her rapist, that killed Elizabeth's rapist. Well, we kind of know that he is. We kind of know that Alexis has had flashbacks where she's holding a knife. Tom did try to rape Alexis. Basically what she did was in self-defense. And if she wasn't so deep in alcoholism right now, she may realize that she was just protecting herself. But she did kill him, or we're to believe she did kill him. So that's going to, have to pan itself out. We do know now that Alexis and Julian, or that Julian actually did and does still love his family. He's not evil. As I said last week, they were going to bring him around again. So now his sister, who we always believed to be evil, is back in the picture. And she's been calling the shots, and she's been making Julian do the things that he did in order to protect his family, when in fact he's now realized it's just torn his family apart. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up on General Hospital. I watch all 4 soaps. I would say that General Hospital is probably the most interesting out of the 4 right now. And General Hospital, believe me, I write for the soaps. I, check out Soap Opera Oracle at www.soapoperaoracle.com. You can review stories that I've written over the past year, where you can see General Hospital has not been in the lead as my favorite soap or my favorite storylines. But this past week definitely was, they definitely were the best soap on the air this past week and had the most interesting storylines going forward. Did you, director, producer, did you see, I think I called you in to take a look at Steve Burton with his goatee, the new look?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think of that new look?
He doesn't. He doesn't wear a beard well.
Yeah, but did you not think that maybe fits his rock star image? He does have the band Poor Chuck. You've actually been with me in Franklin, Tennessee, and been there when I've interviewed him, and you've seen him perform with Poor Chuck, and they basically do. They have a couple new. By the way, they have a couple of originals. They are writing new music, but they mostly do cover tunes, other hit music from other big artists. And do you think that fits more the rock style? Because they actually put in the leather bands around his wrist. And do you think that fits that image more? And was that an easy transition for him to grow the goatee and put on that jewelry, because he's leaving the soap and he's going to be doing more things in the music world in Nashville, because that's where he lives, close to Nashville?
I would say that depending on the music that he's going to be doing, I don't know that the beard makes, or the goatee makes or breaks the deal either way. When you're looking at people, when you say rock star, that brings up another whole vision to me.
Long hair?
The long hair, beard would put me in the mind of Southern rock.
And he doesn't do that
And
at
he
all.
doesn't do Southern rock.
No.
You know, a rock star, look at, well, how about this one? Well, how do you feel about Steven Tyler with his little pencil-thin mustache or whatever the hell that thing is he's wearing? Steven Tyler's been sporting facial hair again now. Certain people just don't wear it well. I don't think Steve Burton wears a beard well.
A goatee.
Yeah.
It wasn't a full beard.
It's a goatee. It's not a mustache.
Right.
So.
Okay. I just wondered if, because my thought was, well, maybe that was just, it was easy for him to do that because he's transitioning into, he's got this other thing that he's doing with one of the old former cast members of General Hospital, the guy that plays Max, where they're doing stuff for training people like how to have a successful career in Hollywood. And between that and then he's got the restaurant in Franklin, Tennessee that he co-owns with Jonathan Jackson, who played Lucky on General Hospital, who was on the TV show Nashville, which used to be an ABC TV show, and now it's on CMT. CMT picked it up when ABC canceled it. And he's Jonathan Jackson's very heavy into music. He and Steve Burton are, and have become close friends, and they are also now business associates owning this restaurant in Franklin, Tennessee. It's a rib place. It's a barbecue place, but it's got a really cool atmosphere and ambiance, and they do music from it nightly, and also Port Chuck, plays there.
Okay.
Pretty frequently.
Probably need to. They do music there nightly, not them.
No. They being different music acts come in and do music there.
Otherwise, you're gonna have grumpy people.
No. It's not them. It's not Steve Burton doing it nightly, and it's not Port Chuck doing it nightly. Check out portchuck.com so you can find out when they will be there. They are also doing a tour. They're going around the United States. So go to portchuck.com and check them out. What's our time check?
You were at 23 minutes.
Already? How did that happen so fast?
You're talking faster. It's a time continuum.
Time flies when you're having fun. Anyhow, I guess we're going to wrap it up. That's it for now. Thank you for tuning into Food for Thought. Please leave your comments and thoughts below. Again, right underneath the video is a place where you can click comments. Ask questions, leave comments, tell me I stink, correct me on anything I said wrong. I will, if I've said something wrong, I will absolutely correct myself. I know how much we all love our soaps, and so I never want to disappoint. Anyhow, again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Animal Track Studio.